You know, I kind of felt like I wanted it to integrate with the background and be a little bit crazier. I kind of liked on that other one of my playing the game, my daughter playing the game, you know, I liked how the background kind of helped the design. You know, so I thought, well, I'll try something like this. This will be challenging because I have to simplify this. And I can also my photo, and I'm going to show you how I do a simplified grid on just a piece of drawing paper to draw. Because this is really complicated, isn't it? You know, when I do just a portrait, it's just so nice to just, I like to do it the same size and just draw it, measure it, and draw it over. But something like this, you know, when I did some commercial art for like 5 years, freelance commercial art, and it was like, do I want to get paid $1 an hour or $100 an hour? You have to learn how to be quick at drawing. And so, you know, it's a typical thing to do a grid system. And when we're teaching drawing 1 in high school, we do a grid system. You know, where you divide it up 100 times. You know, I've done that and you measure. Well, I'm not very good at it. I've kind of gotten it down to a much simpler way than measuring everything. Okay, and I always like showing this because for a couple people out there, this is going to be a big aha.
Testing. No. It's done. Testing.
Measure this picture and then multiply it and figure out, you know, how to double it and triple it and all that stuff. But the easy way is to take a straight edge and go through the bottom corner. At first, I'm going to line my picture up onto my paper. You know, and I could make a border and put it up if I wanted to, but I'm going to put it right down on the edge, okay? And then I'm going to take a straight edge, and I'm going to put the straight edge from the bottom corner through the top corner. You see how that? I lined up here and here. I'm going to draw a line. Now, that's almost in proportion, but it goes out right here. So it's that much too long to be in proportion. So if I had just drawn this on here, it would have stretched out. Okay, but the other thing is, I could make a rectangle anywhere on that diagonal, and that's in proportion. Okay? That to me was like one of the best discoveries ever. So it's a matter of you line it up on the 2 corners here, and then the ruler has to go through the bottom corner, through the top corner, and then you draw your line out. Okay? Then, I already have it drawn out, so you guys don't have to watch me draw. So then, you know, you draw an X, and then you know where your center is, and then you draw your cross, right? So I haven't done any measuring. And then I divide it up where I need it. So, like on this one, and actually what I do is I make a cheaper copy, one that I can bend up. And yeah, you fold it. This is the real trick. This I learned from teaching lots of learning disabled kids. If they saw
not only disabled.
yeah, you know, if they see this whole thing, I mean, it was just like, oh, you know. But if you do this, it just becomes this. You're just doing negative shapes and you're doing shape relationships, and I find this so entertaining. So I always tell people to start on the easiest quarter, and then like on this one, you know, maybe I'll just find the center. I don't have to draw that whole cross, and then you come from the outside in. You know, so here's the center right here, here's my line right here, you know, it comes in like this. You know, how far is it down from the center where it starts to bend? It's a little bit above the center, so it goes right here. Where does it go? Where does it cross this line? It's about right about here. You know, so it just becomes this connecting the dots almost. You know, this bends right at that intersection, and it's so fun because you really are seeing shapes and you're not drawing things. You know, so I can very quickly, I can draw this down in, you know, like 30 minutes. It can be very quick for me. So now what I did is I divided it up more where the hand is going to be, and I divided it up more where the head is going to be, and then right where her side face, I even divided that up more. So the reason this is different is if you were doing a regular grid system, you would divide it up all over the place, you know? And then you'd have to make sure that you're measuring right and your lines are straight. Well, if you do it this way, you instantly find the center, you know, and then you're here, and then it's so easy, you know, just as so long as it's lining up, you know, it works, okay? I can pass this around so you can see this part. And then from the photocopies, and I make them darker and lighter, and then what I do is I start to make a value pattern, because I have to simplify it, right? So here's one that I made that was lighter, this one's darker, and then there's another one where I made different, oh, here we go. Can you see the difference? See, this is light in here, and what a value pattern is it's a simple design. You know, this is, if you can really get your values, light, medium, and dark, into different proportions, you know, and you simplify your shapes, it just becomes, that's why this one is so incredible.
You do that with markers over the...
You know, that's watercolor. That's watercolor. You know, so I'm trying to secure the design, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, I want a small amount of light, and I want to figure out what my focal point is going to be. Is it going to be the hand, or is it going to be the face? You know, how am I going to lead people in and out? And, you know, so I'm trying to figure out. And then, see, I did this one, and I thought, I don't like that shape. I'm also looking for some interesting shapes. I really love playing with lots of little shapes, or, you know, looking at the shapes. When I draw, I would love looking at the shapes. So, you know, I didn't like this shape, but I like this shape a lot better. Isn't that more interesting? It's kind of hard to see there, but the one, I put an X on the one I'm going to paint. So, you know, I do, there, I'm going to paint this one.
Yep.
I think that's better than that one.
Is it?
Okay, so all my lines, you know, I don't draw them too dark, and I draw them with this water-soluble pencil, so they just wash away. Okay, but I also erased them. And then on these figures, I use watercolor crayons, and just because it's kind of, you know, I want this fluid, dry thing. I want to be loosing on here, and I want to make it just kind of interesting. Is that going to work?
Yeah.
It's a good thing I have this. It's kind of like a map, you know? And the other thing I want to do is I want to make my contour line drawing a little more interesting. So, you know, I have these watercolor crayons, and what I want to do is use a variety of color, and I want to make some lines stronger than others. I'm going to create depth by reinforcing my lines, and it's kind of called, I heard someone call it the T and Y principle. So wherever there's a T or a Y, you have to decide what line is in front, and that line you make stronger.
Well,
So
that's
here's a Y.
yeah.
Okay, so
Very
it creates more. Well, you know, what do they call that? An expressive line in drawing one. That would be called an expressive line. So, you know, that's how I'm going to. And I like to change colors because sometimes these show through and they're just really fun. You know, so like this has to be a little bit stronger there, and that's kind of why I like this drawing or this photograph. Is like her feet are intertwined, you know, and then over here the chair is in front of her foot, and you know, there's just a lot of fun intersections. So, you know, like I need to make that a little darker there. Start with the face because I want to make sure that goes smooth. And I'm not going to be concerned about, you know, oh, it's, you know, she's got a brown eye. Really what I want is interesting colors kind of blending together. Don't worry, you know, I'm going to take this paint off. I think someone got scared. That was a little, now I'm getting silly. But that was a little bit, oh, that's better. Okay. And I'm going to glaze on this later. I'm going to put a little more warm. Okay, and then, you know, we're just going to repeat whatever I put out there. We're going to put it over here. See, I didn't worry about that drawing very much, did I? And I'm going to get some tools there. That's brown.
Is that drawing disappearing when you paint over it?
You know, not that crayon. That watercolor
Okay.
crayon will kind of bleed a little bit.
Right.
But it's not really, it's not going away. It won't go away.
the watercolor crayon Daniel Smith?
No, they're really cheap. They are wreaths. That's like something we use in the high school. It's really cheap. So I'm just gonna kind of repeat, you know, I got some of that here, I'm gonna do some of it there. I kind of want, and I want to go fast because I want the colors to, you know, do their magic thing. And, you know, I've got my pattern, I don't really have to follow it because I can layer it on, but what I'm gonna do is try and get some of those like darker areas up in here. And, you know, this gets kind of dark. Was that a bug?
Yeah.
Weird. Oh, yay, huh? They say we're going to have lots of ticks because they didn't get killed out the way they're supposed to.
Well, what should I do?
Gosh, it's hard to talk and paint. Now this is drying, so I'm going to get this wet. Get it going here. This is weird. You know, I've been painting forever, but you know, I still overpaint stuff. You know, I mean, it's just inherent, isn't it? I'm gonna put a little warm on that hand. So, and do halfway and never really finish. I've been doing it on my old paintings and saying, oh, here's how to collage. Okay, you know, so it's not like they're doing birds on old paintings. It's just me.
Okay, well, the thing is that, do you use what's under it, or do you just basically?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes not.
Are you lifting it while it's still wet?
Yeah, it's still wet. You know, and you know that's why if I rub it with the brush, it kind of comes off.
And Pat, you can still see your lines, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can't see them?
Yeah.
It's not completely finished, and it's not completely working. So we'll have to pull it together, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Okay, so I wanted to do this light.
So you're following your value sketch for what you want light.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not getting quite as light as I thought it would, but I can.
Could you put that paper a little bit further into the painting, the value sketch? Yeah, then we can kind of follow it on the video. Thank you.
Well, now I don't have to work on it while we do a break. Is that what
Okay.
you mean? No, I'm going to work on it after break. How's that?
Okay. Now you're talking. Now
You
you're
get to have a
talking.
break, get the break.
Gotta have no leading things like this, can't you? I felt it was me. So. Yeah. Yeah, I had too much on.
Orange. So I'm just going to come in and do some more. And I don't want to just paint the leggings, and I don't want to paint the leggings just one color. I'm going to soup them up a little bit, you know, and still try and get that, you know, that really cool blending thing going on. And then the other thing I want to do is I don't want to just paint the leggings. So, you know, like there's a table part that comes in here. I'm gonna connect it. You know, so I'm connecting my shape still, you know, instead of trying to paint some things. And there I go, I'm talking and I'm not changing my color, so we're gonna kind of get some more in there. Oh, I want to get some orange in there. So, trying to keep it wet so it kind of moves along. You know, I forget to tell people things, but you know, I'm at an angle so that the gravity's helping me paint. You guys all know that stuff, right? And then even this whole shoe gets dark. It comes down in here, and then it kind of goes across. I'm going to do shape across, and it comes around. So let's get some green. So this is pretty playful, you know, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just, you know, sometimes we just get so, I was going to do a portrait and, you know, oh gosh, I can get so tight doing that. And I thought, oh no, I got to do something just a little more fun. Okay, so, oh, that's kind of weird. So we'll change that. We'll just soften it. I like that color. Okay, so I want to get some green going in here.
Are your colors pretty dry on your palette?
No, they're kind of wet. They're
Okay.
kind of moist because I was working with them this morning, and but there's some old colors in there. But you know, you kind of reconstitute them a little bit, you know,
Right.
by getting some water on there and. This is so fun. This shape here. I love this shape. Change the color. And then my drawing doesn't connect, but it connects on there, so I'm going to connect that. A little different color in there, that's better, isn't it? Okay, so I'm just going to, now what I do is, quite often is like I put some green there, then it would be smart of me to come up and, you know, let's just get some green here, let's get some of the violet playing in there. I finally learned what to do when I have a painting. You know, I paint these kids and they kind of want them, you know. And, you know, that's kind of hard. I teach 250 kids a year, you know. I mean, they'd be coming in going, will you paint me, will you paint me? So, you know what I finally do? I can get we have a color copier. And so I get a color copy of it, and I can I've matted up for them, and I give them the color copy. So, yeah, that works. So.
You can't get their parents to buy it?
Well, you know what I do? My other rule is I don't paint them. I say, and I don't do this all the time because I just, you know, say, oh, I want to paint that picture, you know. But I say I don't paint them until they're 18 because I don't want to, you know, when they're 18, you know. But I could get in trouble here, you know. So. No, I don't want to get into. You know, you want to buy this painting, it would probably not go over very well.
Well, you're not being lewd and lascivious with them.
No, but oh gosh. You know, I teach in Anoka Hennepin, you know, I mean, Anoka you know, I mean, we're on the news every day.
At the junior college?
No, Anoka Hennepin District 11, you know, they're the one that just went through that whole, I mean, they've been in the news because of their. Well, you know, we had suicide is contagious, and we had, you know, it's a really large district. We have 7 high schools. You know, so when you say you have 7 suicides in, I think it was a 2-year period, that sounds really bad. But when you say you have 7 high schools, it's, you know, it's not quite as, it's horrible, but it's not.
Of course, they went through that.
It's contagious, especially amongst the, it gives me chills, because